What's going on YouTube? It's Archer Bluth here. I'm coming at you with a quicker video than usual. Been meaning to make this for a while, thinking about the words I use, stumbling on them, deleting, redoing, all that jazz. And before we get started, as per usual, like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into it. Been watching a guy, What Ray Say, great content creator. I highly suggest and recommend that you subscribe and watch his content. And he's created a few really good videos on Thomas Sowell and critiquing Thomas Sowell's views. In this video, it's with regards to an interview. I don't want to go too much into it outside of the fact that he does a really good job of critiquing it. I recommend that you watch it and listen to the critiques that he makes himself, because he words them quite well. He's also critiqued a book by Thomas Sowell as well. I can't even remember what the book's name is. It's been a minute since I watched the video. I'd have to watch it again. Can't be bothered to watch it again outside of grabbing the link because he did such a good job in this video. But I highly recommend that video as well. I watched it about 5 or 6 times, just forgotten the book, mainly because I don't have much of a love for Thomas Sowell. Tune in, subscribe, engage in What Ray Say's content. He has some really good content outside of just Thomas Sowell. There's a lot of, covers a wide range of progressive issues. So feel free to tune into his channel. He has great content. And for those that don't know who Thomas Sowell is, I mentioned him in my previous video as far as some of his talking points. He's a former economist, libertarian economist. He is a author as well, hence the critique on the book. But he's really renowned for his takes. So he's a conservative talking head, and he reinforces a lot of conservative talking points. I know that streamers like Vosh have also critiqued Thomas Sowell's work, so tune into Vosh as he critiques it. I think even FD Signify's done a video on Thomas Sowell, so tune into that as well. He's probably got some really good takes on that. So check it out. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with some of the really bad, batshit insane takes that FD has, but I'm going to recommend that content to you because I think it does a good job of it. But basically, in this video here, actually, let's go back to who is Thomas Sowell. That's probably a better starting point for this and my views. He's a lot of people think of him like as the male version of Candace Owens, which I think is unfair to Candace Owens because he's different and he's probably worse. Candace Owens is just a grifter. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she's in it for the bank. She's going to ride it for the bank, which is bad. Don't get it twisted. But she isn't using credentials to back up her claim out beyond IDPOL, right? Thomas Sowell, however, is a lot like Jordan Peterson. He's a PhD in economics, very narrow field of economics, libertarian economics, that is. He comes from the same school as people like Milton Friedman and such, who have done really good. They like, as conservative as they sound, they've had some fairly developmental aspects of economics or thoughts that they provided to that field that we've been able to build on to build our progressive ideas off the back of it. And we can refute or argue as to why our points of view are better than theirs, which is, that's still good. Like, he provides a legitimate critique of Keynesian economics. Either way you look at it, Thomas Sowell uses those credentials, haven't really amounted to much in that field, as a credential and credos for him to speak on shit that he has no business speaking on. So in the case of the videos that What Ray Say critiques, where he talks about integration being a problem and multiculturalism leading to issues, What Ray Say does a really good job of debunking that. But he doesn't just stop there. He said nonsense about colonialism, for example, despite the fact there is data within the realm of economics that thoroughly debunks all the shit that he said. not only does it debunk a lot of the shit that he said, it is peer-reviewed, so he should be aware of it, but because he lives in a bubble and he's a shit talker, he doesn't. That peer review is a author. He's not really progressive, I don't think he is anyways, but he's still an economist, data analyst, and actuarian by the name of Daron Acemoglu, if I remember his fields correct, where they did a meta-analysis on the Gini coefficients of countries that had extractionary economic policy and inclusive economic policy. So by that, what I mean is a colony will set up in a protectorate. So let's say Nigeria, for example, and the extractionary policy that they use in Nigeria is they would set up agriculture there that would be conducive, so setting up rubber, cocoa, all that shit, and they would take all the cocoa, all the rubber, and trade it, keep all the money, and then tax the farmers. An inclusive policy would be like when they first arrived in the US and they had settlers stay there, grow, build industry, and then tax them that way without actually stealing the product before America fought for independence. And the whole no taxation without representation line came to be. What you can see is the Gini coefficients. So essentially it's a measure that measures equality, income equality, and distribution, are more favourable in countries that have inclusive economic policies, so where you'd have full colonies and Anglo-Saxon people living there, for example, and growing there. They would generally tend to fare better, and they perform better today because they haven't had the institutions eroded. Whereas in countries, especially within West Africa, for example, and Central Africa, Europeans would undermine and weaken those institutions for their benefit. And now we have problems with income inequality in these countries, as well as corruption, so on and so forth. Things that aren't conducive for business or society to develop. The point I'm trying to make is Thomas Sowell doesn't know any of that shit, but he keeps talking to it. He's spicy with it. But he's very crafty. He's a lot like Jordan Peterson, who will say similar shit as well. You can't pin him down to those things. So cycling back after doing my views on Thomas Sowell and why I think he's such an idiot. And there are a few other videos that critique it quite well too. Yeah, look, like I said before, what Ray said does a really good job. I don't want to step on his bounds, on his critiques with regards to segregation and such that he covers with that interview. The best I can recommend is I'll link the video and you go and watch it yourself. So with that being said, guys, be easy. Keep an eye out for my more sporadic videos. Like I said, I don't give a shit about the algorithm, so I'm just going to upload when I please. And I'll see you soon. Bye!